hindsight, I now see that those three people were leading themselves. They had shifted from waiting to creating, from reactive to proactive, and from powerless to powerful, all within the constraints of a normal corporate job. While the majority of us were hoping meaning, joy, and opportunities would come out of our work experiences, they were willing it into existence. At the time, I didn't know what they were doing differently. All I knew was that they seemed happier and more fulfilled than I was. It's funny how a single event sticks with you, and as time marches on, you find yourself unpacking it more deeply. As I moved through my career, working with different organizations, I started noticing how crazy it is that people with the exact same job, and sometimes even the same boss, experience wildly different realities at work. Time and time again, I watched one person flourish in their job while their counterpart in the same role was floundering. In retrospect, that scene at the bar makes total sense. I was right. Those three people were experiencing more meaning, joy, and opportunities than the rest of us. What I was wrong about was assuming that they got lucky. Since that time, I've deepened my studies. I've unpacked why some people can thrive in imperfect conditions, not just survive enough to not get fired, but actually experience fulfillment through the messiness, while others in the same circumstances feel uninspired, disengaged, and often powerless. 10 years after spotting the power of self-leadership in that bar, and 7 years after coining the phrase leading yourself on LinkedIn Learning, I now see clearly that leading yourself is the difference between being happy and successful at work versus being bored and miserable. For some people, like my three special friends, leading yourself is innate. For most people, me included, it's not. We adjusted our expectations of perfect, learned to control the controllable, and got really clear about what we wanted work to be. Over time, we all got better at self-leadership, the thing that came so naturally to those special three. No matter where you are, things probably aren't perfect right now. Maybe parts of your job suck, or your boss doesn't listen, or your industry is a little behind. Maybe this isn't your dream job, your coworkers aren't your best friends, and you don't see a clear path to anything beyond Friday. Maybe things are actually pretty good, but you can't shake the gnawing feeling that they could be better. This book is going to meet you where you are. Instead of waiting for the perfect job, the perfect boss, or the perfect market conditions, you take the reins now. You can create the work experience you want in the job you already have. Why I wrote this book. In my last decade of consulting, I've read a ton of business books. The vast majority of them failed to make any lasting impact for two reasons. They're aimed at the C-suite, of which 99% of people are not in. Most people have zero direct reports. They don't control the products their organizations sell, the systems they use, or the goals they set. That's not a bad thing. It just means pie-in-the-sky projections about the future of business are generally unhelpful, especially if you're an individual contributor. They're frighteningly abstract. Business books are full of studies and theories that show the benefits of innovation, purpose, and kindness in the workplace. These are things we instinctively already know. Obviously, people have more ideas when they're not being bullied at work, and when someone cares about something, they try harder. You don't need a book to tell you that. What's generally lacking is what do you do with that information at your actual job. This is a book about real-life work, not theoretical musings from an executive think tank. My goal is to give you the tools to help you navigate all the imperfections of the working world in a way that leaves you happier and more successful. This book is full of talk tracks, templates, and examples from people at normal jobs inside of normal companies. We're going to